That's right, we're back with another Audi RS3. This one's fitted with a rather sound-muffling petrol particulate filter, but also a set of brand new Michelin Pilot Sport 5 tyres. Let's have a listen then, and a look around this 2019 5-cylinder beast. My name's Tom, and you're watching Paragon Cars. Lego. Before we start, please like, subscribe and hit the bell if you'd like us to keep bringing you this content. Also, don't forget to follow our socials for updates on our stock. Links in the description below. As many of you already know, this is a 5-cylinder 395 horsepower Audi RS engine. Even though it has the petrol particulate filter, it still has the same aforementioned power and 480 Nm of torque. There is a difference in how that power is delivered though. Pre-PPF cars delivered that full 480 Nm of torque from just 1700 RPM, whereas this newer RS3 delivers it later at 1950 RPM. Doesn't sound like much, but I'm betting it's enough to make a difference on the 30 to 70 sprint. Let's find out. Well, there you go. Once the torque comes in, it's just as fast, but lower down in the rev range, it does feel a little bit more sluggish and less eager to get a move on. And that's reflected in the time, as this newer RS3 was only able to manage 3.65 seconds, which is 0.15 seconds off the other two. Not a huge difference, but certainly noticeable. Now, because we've reviewed RS3s before, if you'd like to see the inside, please refer to our full practicality review linked in the top right hand corner. For now though, let's get on the road and see how these Michelins perform. Right then, down the Little B road. This is where this 3 Series is mighty impressive. Foot down. Oh yes, that is more like it. It's like driving a brick, almost. And boy, can you drive it quickly. What a weapon. Lovely. Right then, time for another Audi RS3. And the main focus of the video today is to see whether the OPF has ruined the sound, 1. And 2, we are riding on brand new Michelin PS5 tyres, so I'm going to do like a little review of those, see how they compare to older Michelins and Goodyears and Pirellis. Anyway, how does this RS3 handle over speed bumps? Well, this is the first one I've reviewed that's had mag ride, and whilst I don't deem it like an essential option, I think for driving around town it is kind of nice, as in comfort. It feels like a regular A3 really, it is that comfortable. But it's very composed at the same time, you know, you still get this nice solid feeling from the car. It doesn't just sort of lollop all over the place. Steering is nice and light and comfort, as again we've got dynamic steering. And this Alcantara wheel really does just feel nice. It's a cold, damp, wet day today, which is actually perfect for a car like this. Actually makes it more fun to drive. Steering is nice and direct. There is definitely something different with this compared to the Audi S3. The steering feels much more positive. It wants to turn into a corner more. I don't know if it's just a wider track or if they've done something with the camber, but they've definitely done something. This is running the square setup from factory, so RS3s you can get a wider section front tyre as an optional extra, which I would recommend actually, as I reviewed a RS3 that had it. I'll put a link up in the top right hand corner if you want to go and watch that. And that was quite dramatic. In fact, let me just show you a little clip of what I mean. Mainly because the car is small, but it's so agile. Right, being an OPF car, the MPG figure might be a little bit different, so I am going to reset our trip computer and just see what MPG we get on the motorway. Before that, let's get the traction control off and see how this thing handles round a roundabout. Okay then, let's use our favourites button on the steering wheel to get into dynamic. We will put the traction into sports and gearbox into manual. So we've got heavier steering, a sharper throttle response, gearbox is snappier, And the suspension, because we have mag ride, is now a lot stiffer. But not really any pops and bangs from the exhaust. Let's give it some. Noticing a bit of delay there. Yeah. It almost felt like the turbo was taking a little bit longer to spool up. Now this is already a pretty old engine. Oh dear, look. A flat tyre. But anyway, this is a pretty old engine. It's like rally derived, so without the OPF it already takes quite a while for the turbo to spool and for the real power to come in. But with the OPF it does seem to take a little bit longer to just respond. Let me give it one more blip. Yeah, definitely feels like it needs a bit more air, basically, is what it feels like. Yeah, you need to be above 5,000 RPM to really open this thing up. Then it just feels like a rocket ship. Right. Quick journey on the motorway to see what MPG we can get out of this thing. So, whilst we're on the motorway, I thought I'd just do a very quick review of what the mag ride is like and how noisy / the feel of the Michelin PS5s. So, mag ride in comfort, very comfortable, deals with larger undulations really well. If I whack it into individual, which I've got it in the firmest setting, it definitely firms up a lot and you start to feel all the smaller imperfections in the road. But it's still not uncomfortable, you know, it just feels sporty. Something like a Ford Focus RS is actually stiffer still. Then the Michelin PS5s, in terms of road noise, they are very slightly lower than the Michelin PS4S, at least as far as I can tell. And in terms of comfort, they are brilliant. They are really comfortable tyres to sit on. It's going to be interesting to see how much grip they have later, but in terms of comfort and noise levels, they are perfect. Right then, about 15 miles on the motorway. I will see you in about 15-20 minutes. Right, motorway section over. We managed 34.2 miles per gallon, and today I drove at around like 60 to 70 miles an hour. So yeah, that's not bad really. On a longer journey, you would probably get about 38 if you were really trying to be efficient with the car. Right, enough nonsense. Let's get on to some proper driving. Okay then, back into dynamic, traction into sports, gearbox into manual, armrest back. Let's get serious. See, the tone is nice, it's just, it really doesn't sound amazing though. Gore, there is a lot of grip from these Michelins. Nice rotation as well. And yeah, even though it's an APF car, once you get up in the rev range, it is quick. I mean, it's still an RS3 at the end of the day, isn't it? See what these tyres like are under braking. Got the usual RS3 6-pot calipers up front. Yes, very nice, very stable as well. Yeah, it still sounds good, it's just, it's missing a bit of aggression, I think. It's just a very smooth 5-cylinder sound. But nice nonetheless. I think if this was my car, the first thing I'd do is probably remove the OPF, to be honest. And just get a stage 1 map or something. Yeah, you see how late the boost comes in there. Yeah, you definitely want the slightly wider section tyre, I think, for this car. It makes quite a big difference. It just gives you that extra bit of bite into the road that you're really looking for. Especially coming out of corners, it just makes you like twist the rear a little bit more. I love the thrum of this engine though. It's lovely, isn't it? And you absolutely must rev it out, otherwise you're not getting any power at all. Oh, lovely sound. Even with the OPF, it's got a nice tone to it. It's a car that wants to rev, it really does. It's a problem because I've got the GoPro here, I can't see what my speed is. Oh, only 60. Gotta be good. It's so smooth as well, and the dual clutch gearbox is snappy, but it's not super duper jerky, which is good. God, that lag is crazy. Almost like old rally car. But yeah, if you get one of these, wider tyres up front, you don't need to change the rims for that. You can just literally put I think it's a 240 section tyre, and it just adds that extra bit of grip that allows the rear to really follow the car around a corner. And yeah, either remove the OPF or get a really nice sports exhaust fitted to this, because this has got the sports exhaust and there's still no pops and bangs or anything like that. And I know some people don't like that, it's like personal opinion kind of thing, but it's an RS3. I want it to sound like a proper naughty rally car. Right, let's take it to some back roads. Okay then, let's give it some. This is where Audis, again, they're just so nice. Now the exhaust is warming up, I'm getting just a little bit of noise on the overrun. Oh, that's lovely. And these Michelins have a really nice feel to them. Coming out of corners like that, you just plant your foot and you are gone. Okay, so once the exhaust is warming up a bit, I'm noticing a couple of little like burbles on the overrun, which is nice. I want more. Give me pops and bangs. Right, let's do a sort of launch. Not going to use the launch control because it's not very nice to the gearbox. And go. Oh, lovely. It's just so smooth. Oh god. Oh, it's so fast. And the throttle response is hilarious. Unless you're above 5,000 RPM, it takes like a good second for the turbo to spool up. But it makes it more fun, you know, you have to really think about what you're doing. It's a proper bit of kit, this. Oh, wicked. Absolutely wicked. See, this is the thing about RS3s that I love. Like, it's an Audi, and a lot of Audis, to be honest, aren't particularly dynamic, but because this car's small and it's just got an absolutely ridiculous engine, it is genuinely fun to drive. And if you've got that wider tyre up front, you can drift it, which is something you don't usually see in Audis. I'd love to have a go in the new one though, because that's got a proper like torque vectoring mechanical diff on the rear. It's like a proper rally car. But this, it's still a rocket ship. And the mag ride down a B road, again, it's stiff, but it just adds a sense of urgency to the chassis. It just makes it more responsive, more compliant with your inputs, you know, you're steering into a corner, you're not waiting for the car to follow you. But again, I don't really think you need it on a public road. I think if you take the car to a track, then absolutely you're going to want to get mag ride, because it does make a whole heap of difference on a really smooth road. It just, you know, it gives you that like extra 0.5 of a second around each corner, where you can just really bite into the tarmac and feel exactly what the car's doing. But for a public road, the regular suspension is absolutely fine. One thing I want to show you is just how long it takes for boost to build in this engine. So let's go into, what's that, 5th gear. Yeah, there we go. Put my foot down now. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And then finally it comes in. So it's like above 2000 RPM is where you finally start to build proper boost. And then the response below about 4000 is still pretty lackluster. But as soon as you get above 4000, that's when you hear the engine really start to come alive. And that's where it's good. Oh. But like, let's just watch how long it takes for the boost to come in first. So foot down now. There. It's like a solid 1.5 seconds. Now it's a fantastic engine though. Bit of a 4-wheel slide there. Even in the wet, these Michelins are really good though, actually. And this is like a really greasy, damp road. Hard on the brakes, yeah. Ah, it's good. These tyres are working wonders. It's time for a conclusion, I think. So firstly, let's talk about tyres. The new Michelin PS5s have impressed me. They have a lovely balance between wet and dry performance. They're grippy but not harsh, and the feel they add to the steering is very much welcome. So for the price, they are worth every single penny in my mind. Now then, the car itself. Whilst the new regulations strangle the RS3 down low, once you're higher in the rev range, it's still just as raughty as the previous car. If you buy one though, definitely add an aftermarket exhaust to your budget if you want to unleash the full noise of what is frankly one of the best sounding hot hatches ever made. As always, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, give it a like and why not subscribe? As not only can you see more reviews like this, you can see everything we have for sale, which includes this now pretty dirty, but fundamentally pristine Audi RS3 saloon. My name's Tom, and you've been watching Paragon Cars. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.